We've never met before. My name is Rachel, and I'm outside obviously with lots of wind today, but I am in a white coat, which I'll get into here in a second. If we've never met before, I like to talk about spirituality, transformation, overcoming challenges, holistic health, intimacy, relationships, things that can make your life happier and help you suffer less. And I've never shared this message before, but it's one that's on my heart, and I know it's time to share it with the world, and that is how to deal with a narcissist. I don't always love labels, but sometimes they do give us a frame of reference of understanding what we've been dealing with or coping with. I always like to preface, I can only talk from my personal experience, so that's what I do. I share part of my story, so I will get into that. I was a very sensitive and shy girl growing up. I'm still very sensitive, but looking back, I was always empathic, and I felt the energies of me around me all the time, whether it was at home or at school. I didn't really know who I was in all of that energetic mess because I was so tapped into everybody around me, and for survival, I kind of needed to learn what was going on in my surroundings to be okay. I talked to a lot of women in my life, more have the narcissist mom figure, but I had a narcissist dad figure. So I can only talk from that masculine perspective, right? Is this gonna sit? No. It's just sitting so perfectly. So that is what I will talk about. My dad was very emotionally up and down as a kid. I didn't know if I would get the dad that would feel very loving towards me and like I could trust and I could feel safe around, or the dad that was very emotionally toxic and abusive. And you know, as a little girl, all of my conditioning was, well, how do I feel safe in the world? Right? I didn't know how to create a secure, safe base within me. My nervous system was very much attuned to feeling on edge, you know, walking on eggshells. Like, I didn't know what I would do to, quote, set him off. So I want to dive into how to deal with someone in your life like that, who just sucks the energy out of the room and decides to treat people however they want, and they have no consequences for their actions. So first thing is learning your boundaries and your energy. So like I said, I didn't know what was my feelings and what was someone else's. There's another YouTuber named Aaron Dowdy who talks about, you know, he came up, or I don't know, heard like, that's your stuff, that's not mine. So if you can start to put labels on, like, this isn't even my stuff to carry around, that's someone else's, right? Kind of put that back onto them. That's one way you can start to feel a little lighter. And then energetically, how can you create the boundary to feel safe within you? So sometimes it is going to be a physical, right? Like, if you can set space between you and someone, or maybe it's like a conversation, like, hey, this is how your behavior affected me. This is how the choices that were made affected me. And that's just your truth, right? That's just facts. Someone might not like it because they don't want to feel responsible for how they treated somebody. But if you can start to just get true on what's happened to you, you can start to move forward in a healthy way. But if you just blame, right, then you're never going to take responsibility for starting to feel better and moving forward. Often there's a dynamic of like the empath and the narcissist being in a relationship, some kind of relationship together. They're actually opposite sides of the same teeter-totter, if you will. So the empath and the people pleaser pleases everybody to get their own needs met, and then the narcissist gets their needs met by being mean to everybody and not taking accountability and responsibility for anything. They blame everybody. So if you are more of that empath, right, again, that's why it's so important for you to understand your nervous system and understand, okay, how can I actually create safety in my body? Do I need to ground and go outside? Do I need to shake off nervous energy that's not mine? Do I need to summon up the courage to have that physical boundary in place or have a difficult conversation? Right? There's a very delicate balance too of being a human, of like allowing someone into your heart because we have that emotional need for connection. But if it's been too harmful over time, right, then we can really close off to connection emotionally. So kind of just tap into, okay, emotionally, where am I at? Am I ready to be open up to somebody and be vulnerable and be courageous? Or is it time to like go into my shell a little bit and I need to just take care of myself and understand what my needs are? It can feel very heavy. One thing about, this narcissist pattern is like they've always gotten away with actions, right? It's just like a toddler. So a kid starts to kind of test the boundaries as they grow up and see what they can do with their behavior that they choose, right? And then the narcissist is an adult who's done the same thing and they've never gotten consequences for their actions, so they continue to, quote, get away with treating people certain ways. So if you stand up to that bully and say like, yo, like you can't treat me like this anymore, you're going to change that dynamic and you're going to shift that dynamic, which is really empowering. But people often don't do it, right? Because it's so scary and so fearful and they don't even know how to do it. Yeah, it'll be uncomfortable for a little bit, but if it feels uncomfortable now, you're probably still in a prison after feeling like you've been in a prison your whole life. So if you want to change that dynamic, those are some tips to start. If you do want some more one-on-one support with all of this, you can reach out to me. I will put my email down in the box below, and we can do coaching, we can do healing to really understand how you can take care of yourself and suffer less and change the dynamic of relationships around you. Love you so much. Oh yeah, and the white pure coat, right? White represents purity and always coming back to pureness. And believe me, I know how hard it is to restart and feel like you're getting beat up over and over and over again. Like, I really do. And it's your choice if you want to lean towards love and change the dynamic and make it better, or stay in the crap. So hopefully I will see you soon. Let me know what you want to see next.